Lucy's first job. This is the story of Lucy's first job, and it was a very important day for her. Lucy woke up in the morning, and the sun was shining through her window, making a bright square on her blue wall. She opened her eyes slowly, and she smiled a little smile because today was a special day. She sat up in her bed, which was small and comfortable, and her feet touched the wooden floor. The floor was a little bit cold, but Lucy did not mind. She stood up and walked to her closet, a big white box in the corner of her room, and she opened the door. Inside, there were many clothes, but she needed to choose her clothes for her first job very carefully. She chose a simple blue shirt, because blue was her favorite color, and she chose a pair of brown pants because they were clean and looked nice. She put the clothes on her bed, and then she went to the bathroom. The bathroom was small and white, with a small window that let the morning light in. Lucy picked up her toothbrush, which was yellow, and she put some white toothpaste on it. She brushed her teeth up and down, making them clean and shiny. Then she washed her face with cool water, and the water felt very fresh on her skin. She looked in the mirror and saw her own face looking back at her. She had brown hair and brown eyes, and today, her eyes looked very excited. After she was ready, she went to the kitchen. The kitchen was a happy place, full of yellow and white colors. Her mother was there, and she was making breakfast. "Good morning, Lucy," her mother said with a big smile. "Are you ready for your first day?" Lucy smiled back and said, "Yes, I am ready." She felt a little bit nervous, like a small bird about to fly for the first time, but she was also very excited. She sat down at the small kitchen table, and her mother gave her a bowl of cereal. The bowl was white, and the cereal made a small noise when she poured milk on it. She ate her breakfast slowly, one spoonful at a time, and she thought about her new job. She was going to work at a flower shop. The name of the shop was the Happy Flower Shop, and Lucy thought that was a very good name. When she finished her breakfast, she put her bowl in the sink and said goodbye to her mother. "Have a good day," her mother said, and she gave Lucy a warm hug. The hug made Lucy feel strong and ready. She put on her shoes, which were simple black shoes, and she opened the front door. The world outside was bright and sunny. She took a deep breath of the fresh morning air and started to walk. The walk to the flower shop was not very long. She walked down her street, past the little houses with their green gardens. She saw a small brown dog, and it wagged its tail at her. Lucy smiled at the dog. She walked past the big park, where she could hear birds singing in the tall trees. The sky was a beautiful, clear blue, with only a few white clouds floating slowly by. She felt the warm sun on her arms as she walked. Everything felt new and full of possibility. Soon, she saw the shop. It was a small, cute shop with a big window in the front and a green door. Above the window, there was a sign made of wood. The sign said the Happy Flower Shop in pretty white letters. Lucy's heart beat a little bit faster. This was it. She was here. She stood in front of the green door for a moment, took another deep breath, and then she put her hand on the cool metal handle. She pushed the door open, and a little bell above the door made a happy ding-ding sound. The first thing she noticed was the smell. The shop smelled wonderful. It smelled of fresh flowers and green leaves and wet earth. It was the best smell in the world. The inside of the shop was full of colors. There were red flowers, yellow flowers, pink flowers, blue flowers, and white flowers. They were in buckets on the floor, in vases on the shelves, and hanging in baskets from the ceiling. It was like walking into a rainbow. A man was standing behind a wooden counter at the back of the shop. He was an older man with white hair and a kind face. He was wearing a green apron. This was Mr. Green, the owner of the shop. He looked up when the bell rang and he saw Lucy. He smiled a warm, friendly smile. "Hello," he said. "You must be Lucy." Lucy felt a little shy, but she smiled back. "Yes," she said in a small voice. "It is nice to meet you, Mr. Green." "It is nice to meet you too, Lucy," he said. "Welcome to the Happy Flower Shop. Are you ready to learn?" Lucy nodded her head. "Yes, I am very ready." Mr. Green came out from behind the counter. "Good," he said. "Your first job is very simple. We must make the shop look clean and beautiful for the customers. So, your first task is to sweep the floor." He showed her a broom and a dustpan in a small corner. The broom was long, with a wooden handle and yellow bristles. The dustpan was green, the same color as his apron. "Just sweep all the little leaves and dust from the floor," he explained. "Make a small pile and then put it in the dustpan. It is very easy." Lucy took the broom. It felt light in her hands. She started at the front of the shop, near the green door. She moved the broom back and forth, back and forth. The yellow bristles made a soft, swish-swish sound on the wooden floor. She saw some small green leaves that had fallen from the plants and a little bit of dust. She swept them carefully into a small pile. The work was simple, but she did it very carefully. She wanted to do a good job. She swept around the big buckets of red roses, being careful not to touch them. The roses were so beautiful, a deep, rich red. Then she swept around the yellow tulips. The tulips were bright and cheerful, like little cups of sunshine. She swept all the way to the back of the shop, near the counter. When she was finished, she had a neat little pile of dust and leaves. She took the green dustpan and carefully swept the pile into it. Then, she walked to a small trash can behind the counter and tipped the dustpan. The dust and leaves fell inside. The floor looked very clean now. Mr. Green was watching her and he smiled. "Very good, Lucy," he said. "You did a perfect job. You are a good worker." Lucy felt very proud. It was a small thing, sweeping the floor, but she had done it well. "Now," said Mr. Green, "it is time for your second task. This is the most important task in a flower shop. We must give the flowers water." He showed her a small green watering can. It was made of plastic and was very light. "First, we fill this with water," he said. He took her to a small sink behind the counter. He turned the silver tap, and clear, cool water flowed out. He filled the watering can. The sound of the water was very pleasant. When the can was full, he gave it to Lucy. It was heavier now, but not too heavy. "Now," he said, "we give each plant a little drink, not too much, just a little." He pointed to a pot of small white flowers. "Let's start with these daisies." Lucy walked over to the pot of daisies. The daisies were so pretty, with their white petals and yellow centers. She carefully tipped the watering can and a little stream of water went onto the dark soil. The soil drank the water up quickly. "That's it," said Mr. Green. "Perfect, now you can do the others." Lucy felt a new kind of excitement. She was taking care of living things. She moved to the next pot, which had a big pink flower in it. She did not know its name, but it was beautiful. She gave it a little water, just like Mr. Green showed her. The pink flower seemed to smile at her. Then she went to the red roses. There were many rose plants in a long box. She walked along the box, giving each plant a small drink of water. She was very careful not to get water on the red petals. The water made the green leaves look shiny and fresh. After the roses, she watered the yellow tulips. Their long green stems stood up straight and tall. Then she watered the purple flowers and the orange flowers and the tall, elegant white lilies. Each flower was different, and each one was beautiful in its own way. She watered the big green plants that did not have flowers but had wonderful, large leaves. She watered the small plants on the shelves and the hanging plants in the baskets. She had to stand on her toes to reach the hanging baskets. It took a long time to water all the plants in the shop. She had to go back to the sink to fill her watering can 2 more times. But she did not feel tired. She felt happy and calm. The shop was quiet, except for the soft sound of the water and the gentle music playing from a small radio on the counter. The sun streamed through the front window, making everything look warm and bright. When she had watered the very last plant, a tiny cactus in a small pot, she put the watering can back by the sink. Mr. Green was arranging some flowers in a vase. He looked at her and smiled again. "Thank you, Lucy," he said. "The flowers are very happy now. You see, their leaves are bright and they are standing up tall. They thank you for the water." Lucy looked around the shop. It was true. All the flowers and plants looked fresh and alive. The whole shop seemed to be full of life and color. She felt a connection to all of them, like they were her new friends. "Now," Mr. Green said, "it is time to learn about the money. This is the cash register." He showed her the machine on the counter. It was an old machine, not a new computer. It had big, round buttons with numbers on them. "It is very simple," he said. "When a customer buys a flower, I will tell you the price. You press the numbers here, then you press this big button. The drawer will open. You take the customer's money and put it inside. If you need to give them money back, you take it from the drawer." He showed her how the drawer opened with a loud cha-ching sound. Inside, there were different sections for coins and paper money. It looked very organized. Lucy looked at the buttons. She was a little nervous about this part. What if she pressed the wrong button? Mr. Green saw the look on her face. "Do not worry," he said kindly. "We can practice. Let's pretend I am a customer. I want to buy 1 red rose. 1 red rose costs $2. He handed her 2 pretend paper dollars from his pocket. Lucy looked at the rose. Then she looked at the cash register. She took a deep breath. She pressed the number 2 button. Then she pressed the big button. The drawer opened with the cha-ching sound. It was loud and surprising. She took the 2 pretend dollars from Mr. Green and put them in the section for paper money. Then she closed the drawer. It made a solid thunk sound. "Perfect," Mr. Green said, clapping his hands softly. You see, it is easy. You are a fast learner, Lucy. Just then, the little bell on the door went ding ding. A real customer had come into the shop. It was a woman with a kind smile. She was looking for some flowers. Lucy's heart started to beat fast again. This was real now. The woman walked around the shop, looking at all the beautiful flowers. She stopped by the yellow tulips. "These are lovely," she said. "How much is one tulip?" Mr. Green answered. "One tulip is $1. The woman smiled. "I will take 3, please," she said. Mr. Green looked at Lucy. He nodded his head gently, encouraging her. Lucy walked over to the bucket of yellow tulips. She carefully chose 3 of the best ones. Their stems were strong and their petals were bright yellow. She held them in her hand. She walked back to the counter. The woman was waiting there with her purse open. "That will be $3, Lucy said. Her voice was a little shaky, but she said it clearly. She looked at the cash register. She pressed the number 3 button, then she pressed the big button. Cha-ching, the drawer opened. The woman gave Lucy 3 $1 coins. The coins were cool and heavy in her hand. Lucy put the 3 coins into the correct section in the drawer. She closed the drawer with a thunk. Then Mr. Green showed her how to wrap the flowers. He took a piece of green paper and a piece of clear paper. He laid the 3 tulips on the paper and folded it around them neatly. He tied a small yellow ribbon around the paper. The 3 tulips now looked like a beautiful gift. Lucy gave the wrapped flowers to the woman. "Thank you," the woman said with a warm smile. "They are beautiful. You have a lovely shop." "Thank you, come again," Mr. Green said. The woman left and the little bell rang ding ding as the door closed behind her. Lucy watched her go. She had done it. She had helped a real customer. She had used the cash register. She had sold her first flowers. A huge smile spread across her face. "You did very well, Lucy," Mr. Green said, patting her shoulder. "You were very professional." The rest of the morning was quiet. A few more customers came in. One man bought a single white lily for his wife. An old woman bought a small pot of purple violets. Each time, Lucy helped the customer. Each time, she used the cash register. She was not nervous anymore. It was starting to feel normal. Soon, Mr. Green looked at the clock on the wall. "It is 12 o'clock," he said. "It is time for lunch. You can take a break for 1 hour." Lucy had brought her lunch in a small brown paper bag. She took it out and sat on a small wooden stool in the corner of the shop. Mr. Green went into a small room at the back. Lucy opened her bag. Her mother had packed her a cheese sandwich, a red apple, and a bottle of water. The sandwich was simple, but it tasted delicious. As she ate, she looked around the shop. She looked at the red roses she had watered. She looked at the yellow tulips she had sold. As she looked at the clean floor she had swept, she felt a deep sense of happiness. This was her place of work. She was helping to make it a beautiful and happy place. She finished her sandwich and ate her apple. The apple was sweet and crunchy. She drank her water. It was a quiet and peaceful lunch break. After her break, Mr. Green came back. "Did you have a good lunch?" he asked. "Yes, thank you," Lucy said. "Good," he said. "This afternoon, I will teach you something very fun. We are going to learn how to make a small bouquet." A bouquet was a group of flowers arranged together to look beautiful. Lucy was very excited about this. Mr. Green brought some flowers to the big wooden work table behind the counter. He brought 3 pink carnations, 2 white daisies, and some small blue flowers. He also brought some green, leafy stems. The secret to a good bouquet, he explained, is to mix the colors and shapes, and always use some green to make the flowers stand out. He took 1 pink carnation. "We start with the main flower," he said. Then he took a white daisy and put it next to the carnation. He turned them in his hand. Then he added another pink carnation on the other side. "See how the colors look nice together?" he asked. Lucy nodded. The pink and white were very pretty. He continued to add the flowers one by one. A blue flower here, a leafy stem there. He turned the bouquet in his hand as he worked, so it looked good from all sides. When he was finished, he had a beautiful little bouquet. It was a perfect mix of pink, white, and blue, with fresh green leaves all around. "Now you try," he said. He gave Lucy a new set of flowers, 3 yellow roses, 2 white chrysanthemums, and some small purple flowers. Lucy took a deep breath and picked up 1 yellow rose. She remembered what Mr. Green had said. She held it in her hand. Then she added a white chrysanthemum next to it. It was harder than it looked. The stems were all different lengths. She tried to hold them together. Then she added another yellow rose. Her hands felt a little clumsy. "Take your time," Mr. Green said in his calm voice. "There is no rush." Lucy took another breath and tried again. She put the yellow rose and the white chrysanthemum together. Then she added the second yellow rose, then the other white flower. She added the small purple flowers in the gaps. They added a beautiful splash of color. Finally, she added the green leafy stems around the outside, just like Mr. Green had done. She held it up. It was not as perfect as Mr. Green's bouquet, but it was still beautiful. The yellow, white, and purple flowers looked so happy together. "That is a wonderful first bouquet, Lucy," Mr. Green said, and he sounded very pleased. "It is very cheerful. You have a good eye for color." Lucy felt a warm glow inside her. She had made something beautiful with her own hands. She spent the rest of the afternoon practicing. She made another bouquet with red and white flowers. Then she made one with orange and yellow flowers. Each one got a little bit easier. Each one made her feel more confident. The afternoon passed quickly. Soon, the sun was lower in the sky, and the light coming through the window was soft and golden. It was almost time to close the shop. "It is almost 5 o'clock," Mr. Green said. "Time to clean up for the day." Lucy helped him put all the tools away. She wiped down the work table. She gave the floor one last quick sweep to catch any new leaves that had fallen. The shop was quiet and tidy again, ready for the next day. Mr. Green went to the cash register. He opened the drawer with the cha-ching sound. He took out some paper money. He counted it carefully and then he walked over to Lucy. "This is for you," he said, holding out the money. "This is your pay for your first day of work." Lucy looked at the money in his hand. She had never earned her own money before. She reached out and took it. The paper money felt crisp and new in her hand. It was not a lot of money, but to Lucy, it felt like a treasure. "Thank you, Mr. Green," she said, her voice full of emotion. "Thank you for everything." "No, thank you, Lucy," he said with his kind smile. "You were a very good helper today. The shop is happy to have you. I will see you tomorrow morning." "Yes," Lucy said, "I will be here." She carefully put the money in her pocket. She put on her jacket and said goodbye. She opened the green door, and the little bell sang its ding-ding one last time for her. She stepped outside. The evening air was cool and pleasant. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted with beautiful colors of orange, pink, and purple. She started her walk home. Her legs were a little tired from standing all day, but it was a good kind of tired. She walked past the park, and the streetlights were beginning to turn on, making small pools of yellow light on the sidewalk. She walked up her street, past the little houses where families were inside, making dinner. As she walked, she thought about her day. She thought about the smell of the flowers, the sound of the bell, the cha-ching of the cash register, and the feel of the cool water in the watering can. She thought about the kind face of Mr. Green and the smiles of the customers. She thought about the beautiful bouquet she had made with her own hands. She reached into her pocket and touched the money she had earned. It felt real. It felt important. When she got home, her mother was waiting for her. "How was your first day, my dear?" she asked. Lucy looked at her mother, and her face was shining with a new kind of light, a light of pride and happiness. Lucy was very tired, but she was very, very happy because now she had a job.